The reigning defending champion is here. The two-time ring winner is here. The 2017 champion is here. The runner-up from that year is here. Brent Hanks is here. I just figured since we went to black, it kind of ruined my whole intro. But welcome to Super High Roller Bowl Europe. Jeff Platt alongside Brent Hanks. Jake Schindler has the chip lead going in to our final table. 7 are left. 5 are paid. So, Brent, before we can award a ring, before we can award $3.2 million, we've got to get through quite the bubble.
Jeff, 2 of these folks here today will take home $0. Nothing but pain and agony. Oh, I can't stand bubbles, but yet I love them.
We kind of like the pain.
Yeah.
Kind of weird like that. Adamo, Vogel saying Schindler, Mulder, Adams, Mshurovich with shades today.
What is this new look for Ali Mshurovich? Awfully dapper. What is this?
Yeah, look at this.
What is he up to?
With the
seashells around the wrist? He's been spending time on the beach.
I guess so, in northern Cyprus. We're at Marriott Royal Hotel and Casino. Blue chips worth $5K a piece. White chips $25K each. $15K, $25K with a $25K big blind ante to kick things off. 1 hour levels. There's Christoph Vogel saying, suit up.
Yeah, put it up, Christoph. Get the tusks out. Cover everything. Little known fact, he actually never left yesterday. He has been in this chair the entire time. It's part of his master plan. Get comfortable. Well, we saw him nodding off throughout the duration of yesterday's stream. Very alert today.
It's our chip leader, Jake Schindler. Looks down at ace-8. I'm going to bump it up to 90K. Vogel saying out of the way.
Yeah, see if he derobes. No, going to keep the turtleneck hoodie tusk.
Jake Schindler finished runner-up to Vogel saying in 2017 at the Super High Roller Bowl in Las Vegas. Looking for his first ring. Timothy Adams looking for his 3rd ring for his 4th straight Super High Roller Bowl cash.
Insane.
That is
Tim
remarkable.
Adams, the prince of poultry. It's one of those guys, just flies under the radar. Mainly in the U.S., right? We don't see much of him because he is Canadian, does not play our owned and operated majors inside the PokerGO studio, but an absolute legend of the game, online, live. Much like this dangerous dingo here, Adamo.
Makes it 50K with the 10-8 of clubs in the cutoff. There's Tim Mulder, who won the 100K Triton event at the beginning of this series in Cyprus.
I think he also won a little turbo, if I saw it correctly, on the side. I could be wrong, Jeff, but Mulder is putting on a heck of a show. A group of young lads from the Netherlands came over to participate in this series. The most beautiful man in Europe, Tom Vogelsang, one of them.
Mulder did finish 5th in a 25K turbo here. Checks to Adamo on the ace-queen 3. Nothing doing for anybody really, but advantage Adamo in this kind of a spot.
Exactly right, Jeff. The pre-flop aggressor, raised from late position. Range advantage, Adamo, nothing but 10 high, and suspect we just get this one through. Mulder, absolutely nothing.
Welcome everybody in, checking us out on YouTube. Thank you all again for hitting 250,000 subscribers on the PokerGO YouTube channel.
Well, let's get 250,000 more today. If you're just tuning in, subscribe now. Click that thumbs up button. Little like button. The support goes a long ways for us. Well, it gives Jeff and I some work. And we'd like to keep doing that, so go ahead. Show your support. We'll bring you more free content.
I wonder what it would take for us to get 250,000 subscribers in a day.
What it would take?
It'd be quite an epic final table.
Well, I think we would need a much larger audience, but I don't really understand the ins and outs and algorithms of YouTube. I'd say we're a pretty big dog there.
Mulder has 2 aces in the small blind after Schindler opened on the button. Three bet is to 180,000. Schindler quickly out of the way. Mulder shows the goods.
Schindler didn't even smirk.
Yeah.
He's all business
Down
today,
to business is Jake Schindler. To Mulder looking for his first career super high roller bowl cash, as is Paul Pois. Grant in the chat asked, what time is it in Europe? It's 4 a.m. in Cali. Jose says it's 1 p.m. in Europe. Darla says it's 6 a.m. in Texas. Mania says it's midday in England. So thank you guys for the
Got a worldwide
report.
audience from all different time zones. It's confirmed a little after 4 a.m. here in Las Vegas. Jeff pulled an all-nighter.
That I did not do.
Pretty close, though, right? You had a little late evening?
Went to dinner, but it was a
late dinner.
Calm dinner.
Calm?
I just had one cocktail.
Delicious bite to eat, Jeff. What
yeah,
was your
Javier's.
Yeah,
Javier's at Aria.
Did you get the salad?
I did. The Brent Hanks model.
Wow, model.
Really trying to follow your nutrition plan and the guidelines.
Certainly been called a model before.
Yep.
Putting in a lot of work on the glutes these days.
Nice.
Adams. Small blind. Small pair.
All of it with the fives.
It's always just this little feeling, right, when you know you have to do it. One of the shorter stacks, vulnerable. Fives play terribly post-flop. We just need to grip and rip. Expect buttons to be opening rather wide.
See, we have viewers from Scotland, Germany, Thailand, Baltimore, India, Holland, Norway, Georgia, Sydney. Let's throw it all out there. Let us know where you're watching us from. Appreciate you guys tuning in. The final table is Super High Roller Bowl Europe. The Marriott Royal Hotel and Casino in Cyprus. StormX, PokerGo's exclusive cryptocurrency partner, proud partner and presenter of Super High Roller Bowl Europe. That's what they say.
Yet to have a position, Jeff, StormX.
No.
Waiting for the right time to enter the crypto market.
Good luck finding that.
Yeah.
You can read where the people are watching us from if you want.
Wow, Vienna, South Korea. Iceland. Up in Iceland. Santa Barbara for Grant. Denmark. Colorado for Michael Johnson. Austria, that's the home of Matthias Eibinger. There's the Netherlands. Must be Remco Rinkuma's cousin. Connecticut for the All-In Poker podcast. There's a
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Yeah, another Vegas early morning riser. That's an all-nighter for sure right there.
Yeah.
Not early morning.
No question about it. Well, and then we have...
How about South Africa?
Yeah, California native currently living in Thailand due to the upcoming collapse of America. Well, thanks for letting us know.
Look at that. Is that really?
Yeah, you got to get out of here.
I mean, I just saw the Twitter thing, but I didn't realize. Wow.
Argentina,
we're going down, huh?
India, Germany, Poland, Hawaii, Mexico, Ireland, India, thank you all for tuning in.
I love Poland, Jeff.
Yeah.
You know, little known fact, I am 50% Polish. That is a true story.
Yeah.
I am half Polish. I love duck soup.
Do you really?
Not really. It's my least favorite Polish dish.
I'm sure you make the Poles proud.
I hear that a lot. I get that a lot. A lot of folks call me...
You're big in Poland.
Hankski.
Hankski.
Yeah.
Hankski. The new look, SHRB opens with the ace-3 of hearts. Adamo defends with the 8-6.
Oh.
And it just comes 10-9-7. Adamo flops the straight. 1 heart on this flop. These two battled plenty yesterday. Could easily make an argument that these are the 2 best tournament players in the world. Goes check, check. King of diamonds on the turn.
Horrific texture. Clearly for Ali. Nice little check back. Note to self. If I raise button, have backdoor on this sort of board with ace wheel suited. Knuckle. You're just burning money. Smashes the big blind's calling range. Also doesn't help to be up against the Dominator. It's going to make you earn every inch.
Adamo fling in a time bank for 30 seconds. More to act. Ooh, the overbet lead on the turn.
Ali doesn't
Spicy
go for
one,
it.
and just nothing doing for SHRB.
Adamo hoping that Ali somehow connected or picked up a little equity from that king on the flop.
Michael Adamo, the reigning defending champion, won Super High Roller Bowl 6 in Las Vegas, beating Justin Bonomo heads up. Timothy Adams drifting off. He's up.
Oh, Adams fell asleep now.
Yeah, he was.
Really?
Eyes closed.
I think he's more of a meditator.
Yeah, I think so too. Mulder with 2 jacks.
Thus far, not a single word spoken at the table. Not one peep out of a player.
Even when Mulder showed the aces
Nothing.
when he had him, nobody said anything.
Nothing. It's intense here on the bubble.
It's a $560,000 bubble.
Oh, Vogel saying big lick. Gonna defend as soon as he wakes up. He may just pass, Jeff. You don't have to defend them all, but this seems like the sort of holding. Facing them in. It connects just fine post-flop. Obviously, we can see here that he would be in a lot of trouble if he makes just one single pair.
Ace King 4, he does not. Some questions about time banks. 6 additional time banks will be delivered to our final 6.
Well, that's great. Yeah, give them a little more time.
Right, right. I knew you'd love that. You'd love to hear that.
Great rules in place, really.
Mulder checks back.
Concerning texture for just a couple of jacks on this board. Fortunately, he's not up against any sort of hand that's picked up a smidgen of equity. Vogel saying is just content to not put a single chip in the pot, not going to burn money. Uncertain if he'd get anything through. Mulder also very likely content. Just let's get to showdown. Maybe the one river, Jeff, that Vogelsang could consider getting slightly out of line. Having that 6 in his hand, as we can see, the 5-6 would be the straight. Mulder's hand looks like it's sort of well written on his forehead. Now Vogelsang says, I don't think so. I'm not going to even attempt it.
Mulder happy to check back, show down the jacks. Take down the spot. You want to hear the voice of Brent Hanks some more, all you got to do is download PokerGO Hold'em. It's available in both the Android store and the App Store. Free to play. Online poker. Play against Helmuth, Negreanu, Esfandiari, Maria Ho. All on the app.
You can play against me right now. I'm logging in right now, Jeff. I'm going to get in there. Hungry Hanks.
Just please no hand history.
And we're going to talk all about this game.
No.
I'm going to click on the Friday night poker tables.
Oh, that's cool.
That was our show,
That
Jeff.
Was. Are you going to bring that back? You're director of programming.
Yeah, well, I
just worked that into the mix.
I have absolutely zero power whatsoever. Yeah, no, everything I've ever wanted to do has been a big no. Can't quite understand it, but we're working on it, Jeff.
Vogelsang is Christoph.
Yeah, he's
on you.
Hello. Hey. Jake needs to get something to just tap him with, you know, a little poking stick.
Just Christoph.
He's completely out cold.
This is unfortunate.
100%.
For so much money.
Look at his neck drift. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Schindler with King Jack.
This time just knuckles. Yeah. Last time Ace-8 he did kick it up. King Jack remaining balanced.
10-5 deuce. Vogelsang flops top pair. Turn is a jack. Schindler retakes the lead.
He's falling asleep again.
He's
Jeff.
out again?
Yeah,
this
it's amazing.
Ridiculous.
It's,
I mean, you feel bad for the guy.
You do. It
keeps nodding off during a massive final table.
It could be a condition, right? People have sort of not. Is it insomnia, narcolepsy? What is it? What is it?
Narcolepsy.
Narcolepsy. Yeah.
Imagine how good he would be if he didn't fall asleep at times.
If only he could stay awake. Which explains the resume, perhaps, right? The astounding stat that this guy has 25 million plus in career earnings, and yet only 2 career titles.
Every time you say that, I'm astounded. 7 on the river, 10s and 7s for Vogelsang. Quickly checks.
Oh, this is trouble for Schindler. He's absolutely going to eke out a little bit of value here. King Jack should certainly be the best hand. And the Vogues has got a beautiful check raising opportunity. Unless Schindler just gives him 8-9 specifically, but that would be awfully ridiculous.
Like you said, Schindler looking for value in his mind. Firing 125,000. Beautiful ticket, as you would say, for Christoph Vogelsang.
Yeah, really just a beautiful display of post-flop maneuvering by Vogelsang. The check on the river, looking to check raise Schindler and put him in a world of hurt. "27 minutes later, we have arrived here at this river play."
Reaches. There is that check raise to 375,000.
Succulent sizing as well. Schindler thinking, what just happened? Does this guy really have some sort of two-pair? And he's completely out cold now. Vogelsang has drifted off into the land of languish. He is gone, Jeff. He has departed.
Dreaming about a call from Schindler here.
Perhaps both players now. Oh yeah, Vogelsang completely out cold. I can hear, if you listen carefully, you can hear the snoring.
Can Schindler somehow find a fold here?
That would be heroic. Diamonds have bricked. What hands could he be turning into bluffs as a check raise? This would be awfully thin, I believe, to even find bluffs here for Vogelsang.
Yeah.
It's clear that Schindler was value betting on the river. But this guy really try and bluff me, Schindler thinking. What could he possibly have that he's bluffing with? He never has a worse jack. Big decision, clearly, for Schindler.
Burn through a couple time banks.
I think it just feels like he's beat at this point.
Does fling in the call. We'll see the bad news. As Vogelsang wakes up and reveals his hand.
And there's a big smile and a grin for the now awake Christoph Vogelsang. I believe he muttered something like, "It's my hand." 10-7.
Did he?
Perhaps
is that what he won Super High Roller Bowl with?
I think it is. I think it's the hand he beat Jake Schindler with heads up in 2017. These two have history. Playing for the title. Christoph's biggest career score, and a bit of a blow to Schindler's stack. 32% of his chips down the drain.
It was indeed the 10-7 for Christoph Vogelsang, and it was two pair in the final hand of the 2017 Super High Roller Bowl.
I had a value hand, right? I didn't mean to.
I think Paul Pla's getting a little kick out of Vogelsang's antics at this table.
Vogelsang, the chip leader now.
King 8 suited, possible hand. He may consider 3-betting this Paul Poit open as the chip leader that you mentioned, Jeff, able to apply pressure in position. Well, how about a little flat? Let's just get busy. Let's get active.
Mulder with deuces.
And this is just beautiful. Look down at a couple of ducklings,
You're
a little
laying
baby
right
pair. Do some mining for Mulder. Just hoping that we can connect with a little duck.
Queen 6-3.
Pretty
No duck, but the deuces are ahead.
Yeah, pretty abysmal board for all. Paul Poit does have backdoor hearts. That ace high. It's a dry flop. If you wanted to take the bull by the horns right now, we certainly could. You're worried about Vogelsang on the button. And this is quite a spot now for Vogelsang. You can see not a single shovel on board. We can't make a flush. We can't really make a straight. Just nothing but king high. The power of the button, though, Jeff.
Checks around, jack on the turn. Deuce is still best.
Mulder hoping somehow, some way, do we just get to the river with deuces?
King on the river. Vogelsang takes the lead. Goes from worst to first.
On the button, Paul Poit doesn't have a pair. Mulder just with a couple of ducklings. At some point along the way, you have to, what does Vogelsang have? What did he call with pre? Check every street, and now all of a sudden, the presence of 3 Broadway cards, King, Queen, Jack, show up. They've arrived. Poit's going to step right into it, says, well, I raised pre. I can absolutely bet this board. And I don't mind it, Jeff. I really don't. I think this should be a lot of Poit. Just unfortunate for him that Vogelsang has a king somehow. I think Paul Poit hoping he's got maybe a couple of 7s, maybe 8s, although we have an 8 in our hand. Just taking a shot.
There's the call by Vogelsang. Another nice pot for him.
No 8.
Christoph Vogelsang looking for his 4th super high rollerball cash. Got about a quarter of the chips in play. Won the 2017 Super High Rollerball, finished 5th the next year, finished 2nd at Super High Rollerball Russia to Timothy Adams, who is also at this final table.
Truly a great, great player, the Tractor, Vogelsang. More than $25 million in earnings. Plays at an elite level, world class. Every player here knows that about him. Could it be his day to find victory number 3?
Bump it up here with the ace deuce of clubs. Adams with ace-8. And our top two from Super High Roller Bowl Russia will tango. Ooh, ace-5-3. Adams' aces are best. Vogelsang does have the wheel draw.
See if Vogelsang, what sort of line he elects to go with. We can remain under-repped while controlling the size of the pot with ace-deuce. Now, top pair, how many aces does Adams have that he's simply just defending with? Maybe a couple, right? Ace-7, ace-8, ace-9, maybe ace-10, rather than 3-betting and moving it all in pre. Even for the times that we are up against those set aces, Vogelsang has equity, right? We have the deuce, we have the 4. Assumedly range advantage Vogelsang, but as we can see at home, Tim Adams is a 60% favorite.
Check call.
Yeah, and I think Vogelsang, right, for the times that he would just be betting air. Give him like queen-jack offsuit that he could have been opening. He'd be c-betting small on this sort of board.
How about a 4 on the turn and the wheel for Christoph Vogelsang? It's his day early.
Yeah, the tractor just plowing right now. Not an ideal ticket for Adams. Would not expect him to even fold here on another barrel from Vogelsang. Let's go back to those sorts of hands he could have been opening. Even if one of those semi-bluffs contained a diamond, could try and put one through here. It is difficult to pull off on a one-liner board, right? Ace-5-3-4, the deuce makes the straight. Even more confusing for Adams. If Vogelsang does, in fact, bet his straight, it's like, how do you have a deuce?
Right.
The only deuce you can have would be ace-deuce suited, maybe king-deuce suited.
And I have an ace.
There is the presence of those diamonds. Would he have bet a flush draw? And then comes with a second barrel with a flush. It's an interesting spot. There's a variety of hands where he would just take the equity right to the dome as well after being called on the flop, and that's what he's sort of setting up here, representing that he could have a non-paired hand with a diamond, such as the queen-jack with some sort of diamond. Perhaps 5-6. That would have been a pair and an open-ender. This is beautiful. Almost guaranteeing himself one more street of value in the event that Adams likely tries to pot control here, whether it be a blocker bet or simply a check call.
$230K in the pot. There's that blocker bet you mentioned. 45,000.
This is music to Vogelsang's ears. If Adams had a flush, he would certainly be sizing it up in this spot. But this is going to be a problem for Adams. I suspect a raise is coming. Here comes the tractor. He's going to count it out and put Adams in a horrible spot.
Makes it 250,000. The glance over from Adams.
Not a diamond in Adams' hand. All we can beat now is some sort of semi-bluff from Vogelsang. Adams knows it's either ace-deuce suited, some sort of suited deuce, right? King-deuce suited makes sense, or it's a flush. That's it. It could be nothing else. Maybe because of the blocker sizing, it could be ace-queen.
Adams finds the fold.
Really nice fold by Adams. Took a little bit of time. That's beautiful.
Vogelsang the first to crack 2 million.
Like 2 million here today. Paul had over 2 million yesterday, no, right?
Tricky.
Oh, did he?
So, yeah.
Tricky.
And Juanis in the chat, how can Vogelsang only have 2 first places in his entire career? It's insane. I think it's the most bizarre stat out there amongst the high rollers. It's not like these are massive fields, right? These are small fields with huge buy-ins, and they play a ton of them. 25 million plus in earnings and only 2 career titles. It's just remarkable.
Qua opens here with the Queen Jack of Hearts. Adama looks down at the Queen Jack of Diamonds. Adamo with the 3-bet to 125,000.
And on the smaller side at that, this is interesting by Adamo, just sort of taking control, hoping to get it heads up against Pois in position. Pois can be raised folding. Unlikely with the Queen Jack of Hearts. It's a beautiful hand. Wow.
Oh,
Let's
just
get
lets it go.
Lets it go. Nice play by Adamo. Like Pois, just ICM sort of concern. Decides to throw it into the muck. We don't want to play a large pot against this absolute animal, Adamo.
Seven players remain. 5 will make the money. That's a $560,000 bubble, which will be one of the biggest of the year. Queen 7 suited for Vogelsang into the muck. Adams the ace-4 suited. Is our short stack, but still plenty comfortable, about 25 bigs. Ball with king 8. Defense, and sees an 8 in the window as it comes 10-8-7. Check, now trip 8s for Pois. the lead here on the turn to the tune of 40,000. Timus folds. Paul takes that one down, looking for his first super high roller bowl cash. Cash would also move him past the $22 million mark in career live tournament earnings. LFK in the chat says, most tourney pros are dependent on selling their action. No one is bankrolled for these high rollers, really. That is not the case.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I got into it with a couple folks in the chat the other day. They just simply don't believe it, and they don't understand. The majority of these guys have the majority of their own action. Do swaps happen? Of course they do.
Sure,
yes.
Absolutely.
They're going to swap out, but
lessen the variance a little bit.
People don't realize how well off these players are from poker, from business, crypto, you name it. They're the top 1% in the game for a reason, because they have all the money, and they play fantastic.
How much you start with? $9.75.
I can tell you one thing right now. This guy, Adamo, he has 100% of himself in everything he plays, and plays insane, aggro. Just high variance, all the money. Doesn't miss a spot. Attacks, everything.
And we'll defend here. Adamo versus SHRS. Queen, Jack 5. Adamo flops best again. Not my check calls. Kings and 5s now for Adamo.
Yeah, this is trouble, I think, for Ali. Mainly because he has that 9, the ace-9 combo, right? 9-10 is blocked, ace-10 is blocked. If he bets here, he's absolutely targeting some sort of jack or 5 in his mind. Perhaps even a queen. We can apply a ton of pressure. There it comes. I can see the reaching.
Trouble could be brewing for Ali. Bets 130,000 here. Adamo using that time extension for 30 seconds more to act.
And this is the collision I've been waiting for. Adamo, Ali.
1 and 2 on the PGT leaderboard in 2021. Another time bank used. And Adamo just check jams here on the turn. Good start to the day for Michael Adamo. Entered the final day of this tournament with about 700K in chips. He's up to 1.2 million.
Yeah, he's been locked in. Yesterday, towards the later stage of the day, he dipped down to 135,000 chips. Absolute roller coaster of an event. He went from chip leader at 1.6 million down to 135,000, all on day 2, and now here again he's accumulated up to now 1.2 million. At some point along the way, I think it was said that when he had 1.6 million, he's got to top easily a average stack with 5 remaining once they reach the money, but that is not Adamo's style to simply just sit on chips.
Same can be said for SHRS, who opens here at the Queen 10. Focusing with the Jack-8 in the big blind. He'll defend. $9.85, so the overs in the gutter for SHRS, the pair of 8s for Vogelsang. Check, check. Another 8 on the turn for Christoph. He's running pretty hot today.
I think the same could be said for Ali, however, of the opposite effect, not running so hot early on. But ideal hands to open. Continuation a moment ago with ace-9, now here with the queen 10. Not at all a misstep, just a frustrating turn for Ali. Got to get that Dragon Ball Z sweatshirt out immediately.
Maybe,
Jeff.
yeah, you got to go back to the old school route.
You had reached out to him about that, huh?
I did. I said, why no more Dragon Ball Z hoodies? You know, conscious decision. What's going on here? Didn't respond.
Really?
Yeah, just no response.
Oh, just focus, dial in.
Well, yeah, he
off
is
the
locked
gram,
in.
Huh?
Yeah.
Was it a text or you reached out to him? It was a DM.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got a text. It might be on an Instagram ban.
He doesn't want to give me his number. Like, Ali, what'd you think about us playing the South Point Nightly? Raised it up with the ace-4. Anyway, Ali continuing here. Calling the 210K bet on the turn.
And stone dead at that.
As the Jack would have ended his day, most certainly. Instead, it's the 3 of hearts on the river. $570,000 in the middle, Ali, with 480K behind.
And an optimistic perhaps questionable call on the turn for that percentage of his stack. Did he have a plan if this street were to ever go check-check and turning queen 10 high into a bluff? Realizing that Vogelsang was probably pretty capped, and my gosh, does he think that queen 10 high could ever be the best hand here? Yes, we're beating jack 10. We're beating the 10-7. I mean, this would be a disastrous hero call if Ali were to make it with just queen 10 high.
All in.
Does lay it down. Guy's messing with Vogelsang. He takes down another pot. Yeah, maybe Ali had a plan for multiple river cards.
I think so, yeah. It's a rough start for Ali. He was in straight takeover mode at the end of the day on day 2 and has hit an absolute stone wall. Just cannot get it going. Now our very visible and notable short stack amongst these 7 players. Remember, 6th and 7th place here today. Take home $0.
And Ali stone bubbled Super High Roller Bowl Europe last year.
If he does it again, I don't think he's coming back to Cyprus.
It's haunted.
That might be it.
He's had solid results here, an 8th, a 5th, a 4th, and a 2nd throughout the Triton and Super High Roller Series events.
And I think we've got the Vogelsang-Schindler round 3 matchup.
We do
now.
indeed. Vogelsang limps in for the 3rd time. Schindler raised the first time with ace-8, checked the 2nd time with king-jack. Now with the jack-5. You mentioned balance earlier, and he's going to be balanced in his raises.
Yeah, he does it with the good and the bad. Jack 5, just a note at home, this is a terrible hand. It has nothing to do with the hand strength and everything to do with remaining balanced with your range. Vogelsang getting everything he wants out of Schindler right now. Has him completely dominated, ace-5 to jack-5, but it's all about the flop. Schindler in position. He's going to be able to continue on various boards. Whereas Vogelsang will be check folding a decent amount.
Nine, 6 deuce, 2 clubs. Jake has the 5 clubs.
Even for Vogelsang too, the limp with the ace-5 and then seeing the 85K raise, I thought maybe we were limp raising this sort of hand. He takes the passive under-repped ace-high approach. There will be spots where he will limp, re-raise, and apply max pressure against Schindler. Whenever we just call, we don't open up the door where Schindler could 4-bet all in. The times he actually has it.
Just going to get rid of the ace-5. Well done, Jake Schindler.
Yeah, that's a great example
nice
of
pickup.
How good Schindler is. How effective that raise is with just jack-5 off and the sort of textures that he's just going to consistently be able to win.
Jake Schindler, 14th on the all-time money list, would pass the $30 million mark in career live tournament earnings with a cash today. Move up to 11th on the all-time money list with a win.
Brosel says it should be illegal in super high rollers like this to look like Vogues does. Pathetic, makes it less enjoyable to play for the rich wrecks who make these things run. Now listen, I don't care what anyone wears. I don't think it has anything to do with the outfit.
Right.
That is not at all the case. I think what really is an annoyance for some of the wealthy folks that like to travel around recreationally and take part in these high roller events is the pace of play.
Mm-hmm. Trouble continues to brew for SHRB as he opens here with the ace-10 suited. Adamo is ace-queen. Ali starting this hand with a little bit less than 20 bigs. There's a small 3-bet by Adamo.
Just an absolute disaster for Ali SHRB. He's got maybe the bottom of his range with ace-10 suited against Adamo, who just looks to attack relentlessly in these spots. This could be it for Ali. Still a fighting chance, but yeah,
and he does rip it in there. Adamo makes the call, and here we go. Ali SHRB all in and at risk. With the ace-10 suited up against Michael Adamo's ace-queen. Frustrating day for SHRB. This would drastically turn it around, though, if he found a way. With more than 1 million in the middle. King 8-7. Backdoor straight draws. But for now, SHRB looking for a 10. Can he find it on the turn? He cannot. And now only a 10 will save Ali's tournament life. River card. It's
oh
a 10!
My gosh! Ali!
That could turn things around.
Full out. Ali.
My goodness, he floats like a butterfly, and he rivers like a bee? I don't know about that, Jeff. Yeah, we're going to go with it.
What a dagger to Adamo. What a spike from SHRB. Game on. As Paul mentioned, he folded a 10. Not a problem for the leader in the PGT standings.
That's going to zap a little life into you. He's going to be feeling it now. Bit of an adrenaline rush from SHRB. And Adamo, time to rebuild. Still has plenty of chips.
We're still left wondering how a B rivers.
I don't know.
Adams with ace-jack here in the big blind. Starting the hand with a little more than 20 bigs. 1 hour levels at Super High Roller Bowl Europe.
Another uncomfortable one for Adams, right? I think it's ace-jack off. Consider maybe going with it, but here we keep worse aces in. Preserve our tournament life at the moment. Try and take a flop out of position against Paul Poix.
That flop comes 5 deuce deuce with 1 diamond. Paul will bet 40K.
see Adams glancing up. Is the clock right above them?
Perhaps.
It must
That
be.
would make sense. 8 of diamonds on the turn. Flush draw for Pois.
He's trying to get anything he can off of Pois. This is a great opportunity to apply a ton of pressure for Pois, picking up the backdoor diamonds. Even if Pois thinks he could be up against a 5 or a stubborn sort of ace-high holding, you don't really care, right? You've got a couple overs to that. You've got the power of position and leverage.
Goes half pot here, 110,000. And Adams just gets rid of the ace high. Well done, Paul Pois. That'll take us into our first break of the day. Before we go to break, let's take a look at the leaderboard for Super High Roller Bowl Europe. Still 7 remain. What a roller coaster ride for Liam Shervich. It's back to over 1 million in chips. Vogel saying the chip leader. Timothy Adams, the short stack, back with more from Northern Cyprus after this.
One of the richest poker tournaments of all time. One of the toughest fields ever assembled. $500,000 to enter. No tournament has ever changed the landscape of poker overnight. Until now.
I like tough competition and lots of money.
You're really getting only the best of the best.
You are forced to play at a high level. That's going to be awesome for the game of poker.
The 2015 Super High Roller Bowl. Game on.
It's time to see more fireworks.
That's what it is. I'm not certain.
10,000, 20,000 with a 2,000 ante. Scott Seaver with ace-queen offsuit under the gun, and he raises it up.
More play.
Negreanu next act has jacks. He could play this a couple ways. He decides to just call, which is very in tune with his style.
This is the famous Negreanu small ball.
Absolutely. Anytime he's not quite sure where he's at, he loves to call, and then he'll play after the flop. He's very comfortable playing after the flop, and he has position here, so he's got a lot of good reasons to just call.
It passes over to Kim in the big blind. Ace-7 offsuit. And we've seen him defend this sort of hand here before.
Yeah, he keeps getting great prices out of the big blind. He has hands that have some equity, and he's making good defends. Unfortunately here, he's dominated in a bad way, but normally this would be a pretty standard call.
Ace-6 queen. Top pair for Kim, but top 2 for Seaver.
This is a bit of a tricky flop for Dong.
Scott bets 65,000. And a laydown by Daniel Negreanu.
Yeah, terrible flop for pocket jacks, and because he just called pre-flop, Daniel lost the absolute minimum there. And this is going to be a call here for Dong. There's no way he can fold a hand of this strength. And he'll reassess on the turn.
Oh, well, the 7 on the turn is a great card for Scott, as Kim now has a worse 2 pair than him. Kim checks.
Yeah, that's an absolutely terrible card for Dong. He's going to be putting a lot of chips in the pot now.
Scott is really good at finding the right bet size. He bets 175,000.
Yeah, it's a good size. And now Dong has to decide whether he's just going to call or if he's going to raise on the turn. Obviously, his hand is very strong and he's ahead of a lot of hands. He has to worry that if he does raise, he folds out hands the Seaver could have, like ace-jack or ace-10 that he's beating. So I think what he wants to do is just call, and then if he does raise, it would be on the river.
Kim calls. And the river is the 10 of clubs. Kim checks, and it's over to Scott Seaver, who now has to find the right bet size to get the maximum value here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what size he goes with. That'll probably be dictated by what he thinks of Dong's range. And for Dong, this is going to be a really tough spot. He has one of the stronger hands that he can get to the river with, but at the same time, Scott has a lot of value hands that beat him here when he bets. Scott can have ace-queen, he can have queens, he can have aces, he can have sixes. If he had a backdoor flush draw, he would have gotten there.
And even King-Jack made it on the river, so there are a ton of hands in Scott's range that actually beat aces and sevens here.
Scott makes it 375,000.
Call.
And a really quick call from Kim.
Huh. I guess Dong just decided that his hand was too strong to possibly fold.
Jason is one of those players who works really hard on keeping a good poker life balance. He spends a lot of time outdoors, he works out, and you might not know this, but he is actually a really solid country swing dancer. But back to his poker moves. He has Queen Jack of Diamonds on the button and is facing a raise from Brandon Stephen with Queen 10 of Hearts. He calls.
Yeah, great hand to call with. He's got position. He can hit flops really hard with this hand.
And it's over now to Max Altergott in the big blind. 8-10 offsuit, and he also calls. This is the first time we've seen Max here on the Super High Roller Bowl so far.
And it looks like first time's the charm. He flops a straight, Jason flops top two, and Brandon flops top pair in a straight draw and is somehow way behind. And Brandon checks his hand despite having the pre-flop initiative. And I like this check with this particular hand a lot.
Action on Jason Kuhn. He's picking up chips.
Yeah, Jason's going to want to bet, and he's going to want to bet big. He has a very strong hand, but it's vulnerable to a lot of draws, and he wants to protect it. Unfortunately for him, Max has already made this straight, and it's going to be very difficult to get away from this.
How much did you start to have?
I think 650.
Max is reaching for chips, and he raises it to 230,000. Action on Brandon Stephen.
Welcome back to the Marriott Royal Hotel and Casino in Cyprus. It's the final table of Super High Roller Bowl Europe. 7 players are left. 5 will make the money. Christoph Vogelsang, the chip leader. Timothy Adams is the short stack as we welcome you back inside. Jeff Platt alongside Brent Hanks in the broadcast booth. Vogelsang at $2.3 million. What a first hour was for him.
Yeah, the tractor got it going early. Liam Shervich was out the door. If it wasn't for a lucky river card, a 10 saving his tournament life. You can see Adams now our short stack. Have to imagine, Jeff, when he went to break, perhaps regretting not moving all in pre-flop with ace-jack, that final hand. It was a close spot for him.
A look at the payouts presented by ggpoker. $560,000 guaranteed to our final 5. That means 6th and 7th receive a combined total of $0. Up top in this one, $3.2 million. Blinds have gone up, 15K, 30K, 30K big blind ante. Damo back down to about what he started the day with.
Oh, there we go.
Suit up.
Christoph. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, wow,
all right.
God. He was
here ready.
Comes the hoodie after he raises. Yeah. Shervich with newfound life in the Jack 4 suited.
$180.
Oh,
Ooh,
boy.
the 3
Ali's
bet
back.
to 180,000.
And I think you'll see a mix of strategy from Ali with this particular hand in these moments. Oftentimes he'll call. Once in a while he mixes in these 3 bets from the big blind.
The hand with a little less than 35 bigs.
It just applies a ton of pressure to the chip leader, right? We know Vogelsang so ICM aware. Ali, of course, very similar.
All of it with the ace-4 suited.
Shuts it down.
Back and forth with Vogelsang and Amshurovich, and Vogelsang wins another one.
The tractor came to plow today, didn't he? Look at this, 32% of the chips now, 2.5 million, dismantling everyone that gets in his way.
The winner of the 2017 Super High Roller Bowl. Biggest score of his career. That good for $6 million. Beating Jake Schindler heads up to win that tournament. Mulder with 10s. Pois with 9s.
Yikes for Paul Pois. He has Mulder slightly covered.
1.1.
Maybe we just take a flop, Paul. I'm not sure how he operates with this sort of holding, given these stack sizes.
All of it.
He goes with it. And he puts 10s in a really tough spot, believe it or not. Is it good enough? Maybe. Keep in mind, Tim Adams has the short stack right around 400,000 chips. Mulder has a couple of players covered, another being Ali. He and Adamo have similar stacks. This is an ICM nightmare for Mulder. Paul Pois, impressive, aggressive shove.
But with still 2 eliminations to go before the money. This 10's going to end up being too good.
I don't know, Jeff. This very well could be a fold. I don't have the ICM studies under my belt quite like these guys, but just with those other short stacks, you may have to just throw it in the muck.
Adamo still has 25 bigs.
He's got 1.2,
Adams has
right?
15.
Ali has 800. Adams has around 450, a little less.
Yeah,
and what does Paul shove? 9s has to be the stone bottom.
Would he shove 8s?
I don't think so.
Okay,
maybe.
well
I mean, maybe he would. 8s and 9s have to be at the bottom. Otherwise, you're flipping or you're just beat. It's a really sickening spot. Mulder knows it. There it
Folding
goes.
The 10s.
You caught him.
Now he gets the bad news. Says, you call, I'm dead, and just cackles.
Not to play post-volley.
It's that famous laugh. Muzz86 in the chat says, so happy to have the little guy from Horrible Bosses back commentating with Hank.
That's good. That's
pretty good. Vogelsang opens here with the 7-8 suited. And he's king for Mulder.
Now it's his turn. He's in between a large 3-bet sizing or simply just grip and rip. Do you really want to open the door for Vogelsang to 4-bet all in if he were to have something like 8s or 9s? Maybe not. And I think here's the large 3-bet. Yeah, this extremely effective. Essentially forcing Vogelsang into an all-in or fold mode. And a nice little rebound from Mulder.
Sorry.
15K, 30K, 30K big blind ante. 7 players left, 5 cash. 32 entries, creating a prize pool of $8 million.
Jan Okasanen, apologies if I'm going to butcher that.
I'm
and
sure
I
you
am,
nailed that.
I am, yeah. Who has the biggest arms in poker? Jake Schindler has to be pretty close to the top. I'll tell you what, Schindler yoked, absolutely ripped, but I don't think anyone touches Jason Kuhn.
Well, Foxen does, just on pure size of arms.
How do I forget about
muscle
the Fox?
definition, maybe Kuhn has Foxen by like a little bit.
I think all mass and pure size, you're right. Foxen is the absolute largest brick house in the entire game.
But Schindler, Soverall working their way up the ladder.
I don't think anyone would ever consider Soverall having the biggest arms. He's in great shape. He's very tall. Schindler's a big guy.
Schindler
He's like
and Soverall,
6'3", 6'4",
similar arm size.
Really?
Yeah.
I would go Schindler. Soverall's got the...
I'd say, I don't know, man.
Soverall's more tone, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I also agree with that, but I think it's close.
I mean, I think your arms are closer to Soverall's than Schindler's. No, I mean, Jeff, you know, just saying that Soverall's not exactly massive. Schindler's a big guy.
Both Soverall and Schindler have hit the weights hard over the last couple years. Oh yeah, Berkey. But Berkey doesn't count. He doesn't play. He's scared, I think, of this level of competition.
Yeah, very fearful. He has a 4th place in the Super High Roller Bowl. Maybe it was 5th. I don't know. Tricky spot here for Vogelsang, though. The tractor, right? Has to believe his 9 is live. Clearly, we can see that's wrong. Backdoor clubs. Feels pretty strongly about that. Has a clean 4. Knows the 4 is definitely good if we hit, unless, of course, Adams were to somehow have a set here. You got to peel, take one off. Lengthy one here, Jeff.
Yeah.
Two guys like to take a lot of time.
That's true.
A couple of nappers.
155.
155.
Adams bets. Adams wins. Fire off the banhammer.
Yeah, banhammer. This guy's an idiot in the chat. Been mouthing off to people this entire stream.
See ya.
Take care.
Oh, let's tell you about
Oh, this is good. Let me load
the
this up.
newest
This is
stop
a
on the
breaking
BGT.
news. Yeah, Jeff, hit him.
May 26th to May 30th at Casino di Venezia.
You nailed it.
It's PGT Italy, presented by luxonpay. Hold that thought. Back to this in a second. Timothy Adams has 2 queens. And Michael Adamo as ace-king.
Oh, boy.
On a collision course here are Adamo and Adams.
Hand simply just too good not to get all in, despite the ICM implications in play. Here we go. This is critical.
155.
155.
The 3-bet to 155,000.
Sorry.
Time bank used by Adams.
On.
There's the all-in. There's the call. Here we go. Might have the exact same amount of chips. Adams with queens. Adamo with ace-king. A huge flip on the soft bubble of Super High Roller Bowl Europe.
Big flip to me.
Yeah, fair fight.
Big flip indeed. Here we go. 5 deuce deuce. Dama does have the backdoor wheel draw. For now looking for an ace or a king. Doesn't find it on the turn. Will the queens hold for Tim Adams? Yes, they will.
You can confirm.
It's like 650 over here.
I believe Adamo's day is done. We'll count it out to be sure.
645, right?
Yep.
645, and here
Adamo might have, what, 5,000 left? Or are they exactly even here?
45, 10 more. You are
645 exactly.
645 exactly.
They
That
were
is it,
indeed
yeah.
exactly even. And that means we say
Yeah,
good game to
exactly.
Michael Adamo. Out in 7.
Super high roller bowl specialist, man.
The Dominator. Day is done. Takes home $0 in 7th position. One of the most feared poker players on the planet. Just like that, Jeff. Now all of a sudden it's bubble time.
Yeah, and a guy who's going to be thrilled with how he played, right? Got the chips in good versus Ali, the ace-queen versus the ace-10. Got the chips in with the ace-king versus the queens. Could not find any magic, could not win that flip. Out in 7th, and now 6 players remain. 5 are paid. Welcome to the bubble at Super High Roller Bowl Europe. And a $560,000 bubble at that as we take a look at the payouts presented by ggpoker. Up top, $3.2 million. Second place, more than $2 million. Third, almost 1.3. Fourth, $880,000. Fifth, $560K. Here we go.
And if Ali Mshirovich has been trying to avoid thinking about what happened last year, well, that just can't be the case anymore. He stone bubbled this very event 1 year ago. Now the short stack on the bubble again.
Raise 60. Fold.
Vogelsang opens button, Mulder with ace-4 in the big blind. And as you might have seen, Brent will love this. At our final 6, more time banks are delivered.
That's great. Yeah, load them up. Just
6 more per player.
Sure.
Ace, queen, queen. Broadway draw for Vogelsang. Mulder with aces and queens.
Bet 30.
Vogelsang is going to just pick up so much information here. I mean, what hands can Mulder really consider calling with? It's a queen and it's an ace, right? Didn't matter what the sizing was as far as the continuation bet was concerned. That little 30K bet them in, remarkably effective. Could also simply just win the pot. And now we pause. If it's an ace, can we really apply pressure and get folds? If it's a queen, well, we know we're pretty much dead. He's going to try and attack. Let me put ace-X
sizing up
in a rough spot.
225.
Pot size bet by Vogelsang on the turn.
Keep in mind exactly, I believe, what he would do if he had a queen. He would bet small on the flop, size it up on the turn.
Mulder check calls. Four on the river. Mulder checks one more time.
Yeah, if Vogelsang goes for it here, it would be heroic. Be repping a queen and a queen alone. Oh,
Reaching.
boy. Oh, my gosh. The tractor.
Here comes bullet number 3. Max pressure on the stone cold bubble.
975.
Not a fun spot to be in if you're Two Mulder.
And this is just beautiful stuff from Vogelsang. His plan was to do exactly this no matter what happened.
What did he have? Great.
Vogelsang bet small on the flop, sized up on the turn. Says all of it on the river.
He knows, Jeff. It's a queen or it's nothing.
This would be one incredible call when you consider all of the circumstances involved.
He's got a pile of
Yeah,
time
he's got
banks.
plenty
May
of
just
time
run right
banks.
through him. We could be here for a little bit.
It's a $560,000 bubble. No real significant short stack looming. Ali the shortest, but has more than 25 bigs.
Look at Vogelsang's chest. I mean, he is throbbing. You see that?
Yeah.
Deep breaths. Maybe Mulder picks up on that. He's finally starting to eye Vogelsang right now, getting a little physical.
Another time bank used by Mulder.
I mean, every player here knows exactly what Mulder has, right? He's got a decision for his tournament life with an ace. And the question is all about this guy, Vogues. Seems to have calmed down a little bit. That chest isn't pumping quite as hard.
If Mulder can find the call, he becomes the chip leader. It's a lot easier said than done.
For all the glory, all the pain, this hand epitomizes poker to a T. Beautiful stuff.
Lays it down. Vogel saying gets it through with jack high.
Oh my god. This criminal.
The chip lead extended.
King high used so many times.
By the tractor, a third of the chips in play.
Such a pussy.
Well,
oh, that's a pretty brutal spot.
Yeah.
To be in.
You just call him a pussy like that?
Schindler speaks for the first time this tournament.
I mean, that's the second spot, right, for Mulder. The first one with tens.
Yeah.
Paul Poit just ripped it in and folded the best hand as a huge favorite there. We could see he folded the winner for the chip lead. It's just so brutal when you're in the seat, when you're actually in the moment. These decisions can be so difficult.
Blind versus blind. Mulder makes it 90K.
King, queen. Don't know. Got it, 10. You folded the queen? No. Okay. Ace 4. 3 pair? 3 pair.
3 pair. Eights for the chip leader. Schindler with the king queen. 33 bigs. Three bet here to 180. Vogelsing makes the call. And the two finalists in the 2017 Super High Roller Bowl will do battle once again here. Jack 10-6. And the 8s are good at the moment, but as you see on the bottom left corner of your screen, Schindler actually the favorite. With the overs in the open-ender.
Schindler has to imagine he's up against maybe 8s, 9s, 10s in this spot. sort of hands that Vogelsang likely would call 3-bets with. Takes that equity. Checking back with the open ender. Question I think that Vogelsang and many of us may be asking is, what would Schindler be doing if he had kings or queens on this sort of flop? Would he ever check back? Would he knuckle? Maybe. To remain under-repped. To try and get a little bit more value. King, queen, ace, king, clearly all make a lot of sense. And here we go. Here he's going to size it up now. Try and put pressure on exactly this sort of holding that Vogelsang has.
Betting 225,000 on the turn.
Really hoping that he can take the pot right here, right now. In the event that he is called, I would imagine he's going to be ripping all rivers.
And Vogelsang does lay down the 8s. It's the smirk from Schindler.
And again, if you're just tuning in, if you missed it, these two have a ton of history.
Yeah.
Dating back to 2017, they squared off heads up. Super high roller bowl. Vogelsang was the victor.
You know what's here?
Yeah.
PokerGO Hold'em.
Oh.
Free to play online poker, available on your favorite device, whether that device is an iPhone or an Android or a flip phone. I don't know.
Well, you can play on your desktop as well, Jeff.
You can
Go
play on
to
your desktop.
PokerGoHold'em.com.
Brent Hanks, the voice of the game.
This information is for the incoming last event for the Super High Roller Series. Will be a 50K short deck. So once again, registration are open. 300,000 starter chips with the 2 votes and the 20 meals lines. For information will be 1K full rake and $500 if you register before the start of the event. Once again, short deck 50K.
Sounds like a 50K short deck,
Yeah,
Jeff. I heard that correctly. So,
Last event of Super High Roller Series 0.
Yeah. How to get unstuck? Well, you play the 50K short deck and
on the last day and hope
to bury the biscuits.
Hope for a spike. Six left, 5 paid. Super High Roller Bull, you're up a $560,000 bubble.
Button's good.
Jake Schindler entered the day as the chip leader. Vogelsang currently leads the way.
$725.
He's Jack of Spades now for Schindler, right back to work here.
Raise 70. Hold. 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 Hold.
Schindler thus far having his way with the bubble, accumulating nicely. nearing 1.5 million. Also, it has position on Vogelsang, right? That king-queen was a great example of keeping him in check. Able to still apply a ton of pressure to Vogelsang, despite the tractor thus far plowing.
Jacks for Poix. And tens for Vogelsang.
What a spot here for Paul Poix. Oh, look at Vokes. How does he do it?
Ooh, just calls out of the small blind with the tens.
Wow. Exemplifying pot control on this ICM situation with these two tens out of position against Paul Poix. Did not want to face an all-in in the event that he did 3-bets.
Comes king 9-8.
Say what you will about Vogelsang, and I know I have plenty. His antics, nodding off at the table, length of time per every decision, the get up entirely, the tusks hanging from the neck. But his play today, absolute toppest of shelves. He is showing us all why he is considered elite.
Check calls here. Turn is a queen. Got shots for both.
And for both, not exactly a friendly ticket. Paul Poix, mightily concerned about the king-queen. Vogues, very similar.
Pot checks. River's a 3.
Yeah, I think he's done it again here, Jeff.
Did he?
Yeah, he's out.
Does he know it's on him,
No,
or is he just
not
out
yet. He,
cold?
a little shift there.
Yeah.
I think now he's
Little shimmy.
Yeah, he's up. Little blocker bet now. We've seen over and over again. Maybe effective too, despite the price Paul's being laid. He's wondering, what exactly am I beating that this guy called out of the small blind with? Could it just be a hand like King 10? He's going to pay him up. Very nice stuff by Paul Poix.
Those jacks are best.
Why not trick that?
Always entertained.
Thì đấy giờ thì sập đó唔大啊，sập都唔 three bet 啊 pre flop 你哋，我冇打錯嘛嗰日，係啊，佢一 three bet 我諗咗噶啦，推晒落去。
And if he 3-bets, I'm all in with the jacks.
I believe him. He doesn't care about this bubble, Paul. He might be the most dangerous man at the table.
In this situation,
Just
absolutely.
doesn't give a rip. Clearly wants to play well, wants to win the tournament, but give him jacks on the button. You 3-bet me out of the blinds. Well, boys, we're going in.
We're going in.
We're going to play. All of it. Kudos to Vogues for recognizing that.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Really was. Mulder. Another ace-X holding in the big blind. Last time got him in trouble, although he could have doubled up into the chip lead.
All right, guys, once again, we are almost ready to start with the 50K short deck. Once again, before the start, will be 50,500. After will be 51K. So
that's the call here.
Use the 81K. After the start and before
6-4-4.
So we will have one more player. We can start with the 50K, which will have 20 minutes line, 300,000 starting chips, 100 at the beginning, and 2 reloads.
Oh, somebody's watching us.
Yeah.
Appreciate the support. Make sure you subscribe.
Just do
like
it now.
The stream.
Yeah.
Yep. Whoever's
thumbs
watching,
up.
is that Ali or might be Paul Pois? If you guys could subscribe, that's appreciated. Schindler just gets away. After raising pre, the check fold.
It doesn't burn any money there,
Yeah.
right, Jeff? We don't connect, face some resistance. How's this guy betting this board? Just check fold, no king, no 5. Made life a little bit easier for Mulder, who's been up against it. This final table, big decision after big decision. How you holding up, Jeff?
Great.
Kind of
How are
slouched.
you?
Well, you look very tired.
Posture's great.
Yeah.
I'm good. Good.
A little worn.
I mean, you're on what, day 8?
Day 8, but
of 3
you know
a.m.
I'm
wake
sort
ups?
of used to
Yeah, you wake
not
up
really
pretty
getting a lot of sleep
right
at this stage of my life. You, however, I mean, you
don't really have much going on. Can you
the
sleep
master
in?
of the Z's. How's Buddy?
Buddy's good.
We haven't
thank
talked
you,
about
yeah.
Buddy
No,
the last
he's
couple of
good.
days.
He's
Dog's
good.
well?
Dog's well.
Yeah.
Loves the early morning wake-up calls.
Sure he does.
The 2 a.m. walks.
You get home, is he pissed all over the floor? Or you got to clean up
No,
a
he's
little
been
bit? Or
pretty
has he
good
been
lately,
pretty...
as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Really well trained.
Good for both of you.
Yeah, it's great for both of us.
Adams. Again. Very lengthy decision to just grip and rip. Move along.
Says all of it, and we say next hand.
A lot of comments here in the chat about your Tinder
Yeah, I've seen
expertise.
that,
You're back
yeah.
on the grind?
Got to get back on the
You're back on the
grind.
grind,
Yeah,
yeah. It's going well?
Oh, great. Love the dating app scene. Very productive.
Now, when you say productive, in what way?
Well, I just mean, you know, you're laying on the couch swiping on Tinder, and then it's 3 hours later, and you're still laying on the couch.
Just swiping away?
on Tinder.
Now, how does it work for a guy that's never used such
oh, yeah,
a thing?
That's right.
Is
You
it,
never bit on the.
you swipe and they have to swipe back?
Exactly.
Is that, okay. So you keep swiping and they're not coming for you.
I didn't necessarily say that. I'm just saying, you know, you swipe and then you're just on to the next one.
Is it the sort of grind where maybe you get started earlier in the day, it gives you a better outlook for the remainder of the evening, or do you?
Perhaps.
The
yeah,
analytics suggest that you should start around the dinner hour.
Analytics suggest that your response time is not going to be great, even if you do match with somebody fairly quickly. It doesn't move quickly in Las Vegas.
Mm.
So Paul raises to 65K with sixes. Vogelsang calls behind with the queen-10 suited. Mulder has eights.
Oh, boy. Mulder just continues to have these uncomfortable situations present themselves. If we weren't on the stone bubble for more than $500,000, it just seems like a simple let's just move it in, right?